This is Sara with Posh Pooch Designs, and it's time for our live video chat. Well, today we have another jam-packed, full of fun and information. So I hope you'll get your coffee and you'll clink in. I'm going to take a little sip of mine right now. Well, last week was so exciting. I had my daughter here, Elizabeth from Callie's Clips and Crochet Creations, and we did a couple of live videos, and it was lots of fun. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Melissa. Glad to have you here. I was just talking about last week we did a silly video with my daughter from Callie's Clips and Crochet Creations. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving, ate too much and too much pie. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And those of you who don't celebrate Thanksgiving that live outside the United States, there's always wonderful things to be thankful for. Family and friends and coffee. Be sure and clink in. It's evening where you are. Wow. Where are you from? I love to hear where everybody's from. Well, anyway, we have a lot to talk about today. We have a couple of new items I want to talk about, and then we're going to talk about the questions that I got this week. Good morning, Denise. Glad to see you here. Clink in. Well, anyway, this week I got a couple of questions having to do, United Kingdom. Yay! Well, anyway, I got a couple of questions this week, and they had to do with when to chain 3 and turn. And so I made a little video yesterday. Good morning, Elizabeth. Clink in. Well, anyway, like I was saying, we got a couple of questions about when to chain 3 and turn, or when to join and chain 3, and they were a little confused because some designers say it one way and some designers say it another way. And so we're going to discuss that. And like I said, I made a little demo video yesterday, and I'll link that here when we're done with the video. I'll put it in the comments so that you can find that. It's just a short little 5 or 6 minute video, and it discusses both the topics that I'm going to talk about. So what I've got here is I've got a circle, and one of the questions was, when we're joining in the round, do we join and chain 3, and how do we do that when we're changing colors? And so what I wanted to show you is this little circle, and when you're doing double crochets and you're joining, you're going to, of course, go all the way around as the pattern states, depending on what pattern that you're doing. And then you're going to chain 3. You're going to join to the top of that first chain 3, and then you're going to chain 3, and you always join with the slip stitch, of course. But something that is a question is, what happens when you're going to chain colors? And I was going to show you here. If you were to join chain 3 and then change colors, you would have a stripe of the previous color in your work, and we don't want that. That looks messy. So let me pull that out. What you would do is you would join like you normally do. You join with a slip stitch, and this right here, before you do your chain 3, you change colors, and then you do your chain 3. That way you'll have a nice, neat join. Let me finish this last stitch here. Actually, it needs 2 stitches because the pattern is 2 double crochets and 1 double crochet around. Okay, so I did that last double crochet. I'm showing it to you backwards, just so I'm going to show you here. And then you're going to join to the top, I moved off the screen, of that chain 3, and you'll see that because you did your initial chain 3 in the new color, you don't have a stripe there of yellow. And you get a nice and neat row. Now that needs to be pulled a little because that's out of whack, but there you go. And that's how you do it when working in the round. So if you're keeping the same color, you're going to join with a slip stitch and then chain 3. But if you're changing colors, you'll join to the top of that chain 3 with a slip stitch, you'll change colors, and then you'll chain then you'll chain your 3. And that's how you get a nice, neat, and tidy looking circle. Hi, Trish. Good morning. Now, another question having to do with that is when you're stitching straight across. And I just stitched out a row and did a couple rows of double crochet. And a pattern will say, chain 3 and turn. And then another pattern will say, turn and change 3. Oh, thanks. This is my new hat. We'll talk about this in a little bit. Thanks for, she said she liked my hat. I like it too. Well, anyway, when a pattern says chain 3 and turn, or turn and chain 3, they're the same thing. The only reason that a designer might say it differently would have to do with what you were doing before or after. He or she may have you doing something tricky before you turn, and they're looking for a certain look. But actually, the rule of thumb is a chain 3 turn and a turn chain 3 when you're working in rows is exactly the same thing. But something to remember, if you're changing colors on the next row, you want to make sure that you join your yarn in first and then chain your 3. There we go. I'm trying to go fast. And then chain your 3, or you'll end up with this chain 3 here in yellow, and then your row will look wonky and it won't look nice and neat. And this is really true if you're doing rows of single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, triple, dipple, whatever crochet. Always, if you're changing colors, change your turn, change your color, and then do your next chain. If you're chaining 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on that stitch. And that's the way it goes. So, bottom line, always change your color before you do your chaining, meaning to the next row. That's how you get a nice, neat, round circle. If you're not changing colors on this, join, chain 3, keep going. If you're doing single, double, triple, dipple stitches, always join and then do that chain that's required. Unless you're changing colors, and then you're going to join with your slip stitch, change your color, and then do that required chaining. And the same thing with the rows. And I always tell people, if you're not sure on a pattern and you don't want to mess it up, do what the pattern says. And if you have any questions, contact that designer. I never mind when people ask me a question on my designs. And like I said, it could be they're having you chain and turn, just depending on what you did before or after that particular row. And I didn't learn about changing the color before until I got to looking at one of my projects about 10 years ago, and I was looking at it and I'm like, where's that extra stitch coming from? I did it. So anyway, that's what we're talking about. Yes, I picked she said she sees my yarn cakes back there. I picked those up at Michael's, and I also ordered some in from, I believe, Yarnspirations. I can't remember. It's been a while. I have some more patterns coming. I have a couple patterns I did with them. And after Christmas, I have a few more patterns that I'm going to use those for. Okay, have we got our coffee? Did everybody clink in? I'm drinking chocolate peppermint mocha coffee today. Very Christmassy. All right, let's talk about this hat I'm wearing. Isn't this fun? Well, I wrote a pattern last week to give away for our Friday, Black Friday through Cyber Monday sale, which, by the way, was a fantastic sale. And we did it together in a group with Snappy Tots and some other ladies that have that are crochet designers, and we shared each other's stuff all over the place, and it was fantastic. It was the best Black Friday sale I've ever had, and it made me really feel wonderful when I went into Ravelry today and I could see excuse me, all those sales, all those patterns downloaded, added to your libraries. It just did my heart good, because now I know you're going to be working on a bunch of my patterns. Anyway, back to my hat. Last week I released this pattern. I think I had this hat on last week when we did our video. And this is just my elf hat, and it's a really simple hat. It's got a little point, and then you just decrease, and then you keep going, stripe or not. Like this one's made exactly the same. I did it all in red. I did the trim in white and put a pom-pom. And then I did this one, and the pattern comes in 2 sizes. It's an adult and a youth. And this one measures about 18-19. The one I'm wearing measures about 20-22. And I say about because you're using an end hook for both of them. It's stitched in 2 strands of worsted weight. But if you wanted to do it in chunky, you can. You just need one one number 5 or 6, depending, you know, on the yarn. And you could still make it out of a chunky. I just really liked using 2 strands. This one's made out of Red Heart shimmer. Isn't that pretty? It's got a little shimmer in it. And this is the youth size. This one here is made just out of regular Red Heart Super Saver, which is one of my go-to yarns because of a lot of my dog items. The one I'm wearing here is made out of Red Heart Soft. And so it works for any worsted weight yarn and chunky yarn. And they work up really fast because you're using an end hook and 9mm. And it's all done in double crochet stitches. And this, of course, is a front post double crochet. Super easy. I got the video done yesterday and popped that out there on YouTube. So you have the free pattern on my blog, and it's also on my YouTube. So anyway, that's something that we did this week. And then I have I have a new pattern and a video and a new video. This is my little elf hat. And I did this pattern last year, and I'm going to do the video probably in the next couple of days so that you can have it. And it's so fun. It's the perfect size to slide in a gift card or a little trinket or something. You can hang it up on your Christmas tree. You can set it, because it is a whole hat, you can open it up and you can set it for decoration. And it also fits the American Girl dolls. So it's really, really versatile. And if you look on my blog, my dog's wearing it. So it's really, really fun. And if you want to keep it on your dog's head, just add a couple of ties on the side and it'll sit right up there in between their ears. There's no ear holes or anything. It's just a fun little hat. And I did this last year. Like I said, I'm going to get the video out in the next couple of days. I went through the pattern and I retested it, which is what I'm doing with a lot of my older patterns. Hi, Tina. I didn't see you pop in. Glad you're here. But anyway, I've been with some of my older patterns, like from last year. I'm going through, we're retesting them, making sure, you know, the punctuation and stitch counts and all that stuff are correct. And then we're making videos so that you'll have a video for them. So that's what we're doing with some of our older patterns. And then I have a new pattern that I wrote, and it's a dog Christmas ornament. And you can make it singly, or you can put 2 together like this and just stitch around the edges. And I'm going to do one like that for in the video. But this one is going to be new. It's a new pattern. It's going to be out Friday, I believe. I got one more person to send me back their notes. The neat thing about this pattern is you make a heart. Then you turn the heart upside down, and it's a great little heart pattern. And then you turn the heart upside down and you make it into a puppy. And you can make this into any colors you want because you can make it match your dog. How about that? So that's fun. So that's what's coming out new this week. I also have a great big stocking I'm going to do. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. It's way back there. Hey, let me jump up and grab it. Look at my Christmas tree. Isn't it gorgeous? And I just smacked poor little Rosie on the head. This is the great big stocking. Isn't that fun? And I did this out of 3 strands of worsted weight yarn, I believe. Or is it 2? I think it's 2. I'll have to look at the pattern. But I'm going to be redoing this pattern, and I'm going to make it in the Bernat blanket yarn. So that will be a lot of fun. And I'm hoping to get that done next week. Because, you know, you have to get all your Christmas decorations. You have to get all your Christmas decorations done now if you want to be able to decorate for Christmas, right? So, my hat's smashing my hair. And the truth is, that's really all I've got today. We got new items. I want to thank you for those of you who purchased from my Black Friday sale. It was great. And I have to tell you a little secret. I'm trying to pay off my car, and I think I'm going to be able to. I didn't know too much, but just one more bill to get rid of, and that's always refreshing. And if you look back there at my Christmas tree, you can see that I've got those bonbons hanging all over it. Isn't that fun? I just took those Lion Brand bonbon yarns and hooked a hook in it and hung it on my tree. And I don't have the light on because it makes too much light, and well, actually, it might be kind of nice because it makes me look like I have a halo. Okay, the other thing, you can't really see it up there, is the star on top of my tree. That one I did in colors. It's red and green and white shimmer. And I have another one that I'm going to make. It's exactly the same pattern, but I'm going to make it in the cream shimmer. And that pattern is out there, and I'm going to be doing a video on that one too. So there's lots of fun stuff coming for the month of December. And the last thing I want to say, because I'm going to scoot out of here, I've got to run to the post office and deliver some orders. The last thing that I'm going to say is that next, 2 weeks from today, so it'll be 2 weeks from today, whatever date that is, we are going to have a virtual ugly sweater contest. And the way that's going to work is I'm going to be giving away some patterns that day. I might even give away an item or two. And you have to take a picture of yourself. Yeah, don't run, drive. Yes, my post office is going to be crazy, so I'm definitely going to drive. But anyway, you're going to need to take a picture of yourself, one from this year or one from last year or previous year, of you in an ugly sweater, and then post that picture to the comments underneath the video. This is 2 weeks, so you got 2 weeks to get ready, okay? And I have to tell you, I was at Walmart the other day and I saw a bunch of really pretty ugly sweaters. And I saw them at Penny's also. So anyway, there's a bunch out there, and we're just going to have some fun that day. And I just want to give away some stuff and some patterns and just have a good time that day, have a virtual party. And 2 weeks from today. Well, thank you for tuning into my video today. I know it's not as long as some of the other ones, but I'd really rather it not be 30 minutes long. I think 15 to 20, 25 is good enough and everything, and I really have a good time. Rachel says she's made herself one already. That's awesome. Now, like I said, just take a picture of yourself or your pet or anyone, but you need to be in it, and post a picture, and then we'll do some prizes with that too. So, we talked about when to chain 3 and turn, and about chaining 3 and color changes in that video. I'll post that underneath this one. And again, I hope everyone had a thankful week last week, with it being Thanksgiving. And now it's time for Christmas, and we need to get our Christmas decorations done. So, keep it crafty, my friends.